This is Stacy McKibben with the Master Communicator podcast, where CEOs, senior leaders, and C-suite executives share their advice. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because the best leaders know how to share their ideas concisely and quickly. Let's jump right in. Question number 1. In a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
My name is Eric Ramsey. I'm the owner of Team Ramsey Entertainment and Ramsey Security. Team Ramsey Entertainment is a production company, and Ramsey Security is, of course, a security company.
That's amazing. How long have you been doing that?
I've been working with Team Ramsey Entertainment, LLC, officially since 2017, but I've been in the business since maybe 2009, and I've been doing Ramsey Security for about 3 years as Ramsey Security, and but I have a history of like 15 years in the security field.
Well, it sounds like you've got lots of time having interacted with people and leading and managing and running teams, so I'll be really excited to hear what you have to say about those ideas today.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads me to our first question, which really is, from your perspective, what's the best thing about leading people?
The best thing to me about leading people actually is getting the opportunity to showcase your talent without making people feel in a certain way, because you can make the company better. That's the main goal, but at the same time, it's almost like you're bragging on what you can do. And but it depends on what kind of worker you have with workers that you have for you who don't take it personally or think that you are bragging.
I have a good friend who refers to a humble brag, right?
And I try to be.
That's great. So you might get a kick out of this question. I'll sometimes hear from other leaders, business would be great if it weren't for that pesky people part. I'm curious your thoughts about that, especially in the entertainment and security business where things are always kind of really fast-paced and kind of in the moment. I'm wondering, do you ever have that experience, or what are your thoughts about that sentiment?
Well, working with my wife, I think the biggest thing about it is that we have pretty much a no tolerance for those type of people that they always try to give their opinion and try to tell you what they want you to do. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest thing for us is that we don't have that issue because we don't let it become an issue.
So, and you do that by way of prevention, it sounds like. So through the hiring process.
I let her be the liaison between me and interacting with the people that we're working with, because she has a no nonsense attitude about it. So.
That's great, and sometimes the answer is surrounding yourself by people who can do the people part really well, right? Because that's a very reasonable solution for those of us who prefer to, do the nuts and bolts or the numbers or the computer technology part. Sometimes having the people is critically important.
Exactly.
So if I had a group of people in front of you right now, or a group of leaders, I should say, what piece of advice about communication would you give to them?
I think the biggest leadership advice about communication that I would give to leaders is that they should be able to listen, because most of the time, we do most of the talking and then we don't hear, or we may be missing out on an opportunity that someone may have to better the company or to better a situation that we may be dealing with. But if you continue to just talk all the time, you may be missing out on that.
The old 2 ears, 1 mouth, use them accordingly.
Well, you remember what it says? It takes 2 people to listen. If only one person talking, then somebody ain't hearing something.
I haven't heard that one. That's great. That's great.
I get that from Alabama.
You did tell me I was going to get a Southern flair for this podcast, right, so I appreciate that. I'm a good Midwest gal myself and grew up with phrases like knee high to a squirrel.
Okay, well, I got drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs back in the 90s. So I think that's the Midwest, right?
It is the Midwest, and they're still riding high on their Super Bowl win. So. And
they just gave him all that money yesterday.
Yes, they did. I read that same article. That's incredible. So, as we think about, who else should be on the podcast, right? Who else should we be listening to? What other successful business leaders like yourself do you think we should have on the show?
One of the most successful business people that I've met here, since I've been here, is a gentleman by the name of Barry Malcolm. Barry grew up poor here in Los Angeles, and over the years, over time, he's grown into a very successful multi-millionaire in the real estate field. He actually wrote a book about a year ago about how he, how ways to get to his level.
My apologies, I muted myself. I was just asking if you knew the title of the book.
Oh, I was trying to think of it. That's where my pause came in at.
I'll go look it up and I'll put it in the description for folks to be able to find.
He's on LinkedIn on a Barrington Malcolm.
Barrington Malcolm, I like that. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
And then as you think about teachers and mentors, who's really influenced you? Who's been your best or favorite boss or teacher?
Well, I think I've been my own boss for so long now that I don't really have one as far as a mentor or teacher. But I can remember back when I was in high school, we had this teacher by the name of Joanne Ivy. She was mean as a rattlesnake, and just she would drive you and push you and drive you and push you and make you think that you're pretty much gonna fail her class. But you soon learn that she really did care about you and your well-being, because back then I was at a predominantly white school, and at first I thought she was just ragging on me because I was a black athlete, and but really she really cared, and it showed, once I got my grades and once I pushed myself as hard as she pushed.
It's interesting, when people see the potential in us and really challenge us to rise to our level of greatness, right? That we don't even necessarily see how powerful it can be. And, I'm curious, have you ever experienced that with somebody else that you're working with and, had to challenge to push them forward, even though they might have been resistant?
Well, I have one guy that I'm trying to get to turn over a new leaf, one of my security guys. It looks like he's changing his attitude, but it's still a work in progress. Hopefully, by the time because I dress a certain way, I try to look a certain way, I try to speak a certain way when I'm talking to other people, and I'm just hoping that it will rub off on him, because sometimes he come to work and he's not as appropriately dressed as I am, and I think it's starting to I'm starting to turn the tide with him. So hopefully what I'm doing is rubbing off on him.
He'll be talking about you on some future podcast, talking about this guy that pushed him beyond, and which is great. And I think as we reflect on those people in our lives, it's great that we're so blessed to have some of those people, those mentors and teachers.
And I've never given up. I've been knowing him for over 10 years now, and he's been in and out of my life, and for the last year and a half, he's been one of my workers.
Yeah, I love the idea of loving everybody fully, no matter the differences and things like that. That it's our job to care enough to push people.
Exactly.
Well, Eric, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show. I've really appreciated your insights. I'm curious if somebody wanted to reach out and introduce themselves or learn more, how might they go about that?
Well, if they want to email me, they can email me at Team Ramsey, Team TEAM Ramsey, RAMSEY, the whole word entertainment @gmail.com. They can find me on Instagram at Eric the Ramster, and then my Facebook page on Eric Ramsey or Team Ramsey Entertainment on Facebook.
That's awesome. Well, I encourage our audience to do just that, to reach out to you and to find out some more information and to continue to network, because I think the ideas and the information that you share is invaluable. So I really appreciate that.
Well, I want to thank you so much for inviting me on, Stacey. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you in the future.
Of course. Well, thank you so much. And this is Stacey McKibben with the Master Communicator Podcast. For more ideas and insights, please do go check us out at www.concilioteam.com. And we look forward to seeing you again next time. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.